Diving for Glory, Champions League.
Diving. 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 Diving.
What do we get called them?
Diving. Diving. Glory. Diving. Diving. Glory. Diving. Glory.
Welcome back. Long time no see.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yes. Welcome back. Diving for Glory, Champions League, episode 11. So sorry we missed y'all on Monday. Circumstances out of our control led us to not be able to record. So, fuck it. We'll catch up on all that on Monday. Today, we are talking about Champions League. And hell, since we got time, we're going to talk about Europa League too, since it's already in the books. Don't forget, Diving for Glory, we attempt to post every Monday and Thursday after Champions Leagues, which will only be one more time in the middle of the week. Yay, I think. But yeah, man, check us out on iTunes, on YouTube, and divingforglory.com. Hit us up on iTunes. Give us that rating. Would be much appreciated. Also, Facebook and Twitter at Diving for Glory. Jump right into it, man. We don't do all that normal shit on this episode. We just talk about the games. What up, Sir Solomon? What's good? Shit. We're going to talk about Ajax and motherfucking Tottenham, man. Let's get on with it. At the brand new toilet bowl.
Everybody calls it like that. Like different other stadiums look like something different. Like it's all the same. It's got a roof and the.
Did you see the guitar one that looks like a vagina?
Okay, so
the first comment was, "I want to lick it," but
okay, and then. After that first comment, we go back to the toilet bowl, where
we're already there, bro. Already there.
So Ajax comes to Tottenham. Tottenham had just lost in the league to West Ham over the weekend, a game after which Mauricio Pochettino came out and said, "It's the worst. The worst. It feels like everything is lost. The team is fucked. Don't know what's going on. Don't know how they're going to react to this." And they lost. He played the wrong team, the wrong way. He has injuries, so he gets a big, somewhat of a pass. But a home game against essentially the opponent everybody wanted. And I get it. Ajax is playing pretty fucking good, but there's reasons behind that can be explained by how he put out a formation.
So let's look at I want to look at the bench really quick, though. Kyle Walker-Peters, Juan Foyth, Ben Davies, Eric Dyer, Oliver Skip, Musa Sissoko. The one obvious thing here is Sissoko probably in for Wanyama, at least debatable because Sissoko was coming back missing 2 games, I think, 2 or 3 games with the groin injury, which are always dicey. Outside of that, what could you have suggested he do?
You could play Toby Alderweireld or Jan Vertonghen in that role of Victor Wanyama and move somebody like Eric Dyer into the defense. You don't necessarily only have Sissoko to bring in because the gap that was in the middle that Wanyama was supposed to cover, which is what you do when you put the player right in front of the defense. And this guy is... There are some really fast statues that could beat him, you know. Yeah. And against a team that's exactly the zone that Ajax wants to play in. And it was largely left unimpeded, like their progress, and they played their football. And if you don't cut that off, Ajax are going to look beautiful. And Victor Wanyama, especially at this point in his career, after his, whole year off with an injuries, is not even, in my opinion, qualified to be, in a Champions League game of this caliber. And if he is, it'd be part of a double pivot or something. You can't have him as the guy sitting in front of a 3-man defense. And because of that, and how Danny Rose and Kieran Trippier were also getting taken on Danny Rose was getting harassed. And when you toss that in, the gap between Christian Eriksen, Dele Alli, Llorente, Lucas Moura up front, and the 6 in the back was wide. So they cut off service. Then Tottenham couldn't really get into the game. They had, if you look at the shot stats and stuff, they kind of matched, but like Ajax completely had them playing to their tune.
And if you look at the game flow stats, like it literally is 35 minutes Ajax and pretty much the rest of the game Tottenham, because around that moment, I believe, Jan Vertonghen bashed heads with Alderweireld, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Sissoko came on, and it changed for Spurs.
It changed they looked much more like solid in the middle, and Sissoko covers a lot of space. And I get it if he was trying to rest him because, like you said, he's coming back from injury, but for what?
What exactly are you resting him for?
Hey, play him if he gives you 20 minutes and that's his season. That's all your season.
That's all you were going to get.
That's
even
everybody's
if he was
season.
coming off the bench. Yeah.
Exactly. So I didn't. It seemed, and then Ben Davies could be used in a game like this if you're down to that, you know. And it just, I don't know. Anybody really, because like he put in Juan Foyth. And Kyle Walker-Peters has played in Premier League games before. Eric Dyer, I've never heard of this Oliver Skip fellow. But you don't necessarily have to play that formation if you don't have the guys are injured to play it. Take him out. Bring in even if it's somebody that plays further up the field and just tighten up though. Like you can't just say this is what I have and then what Ajax is going to feel sorry for you and go home.
Well, obviously they didn't. Donnie, Frankie, Lassie, Daly, all my homies.
Billy and Bobby too.
Yeah.
Shit.
They
New
put
edition
in
Ajax.
Nice. What?
New edition
New
Ajax.
exactly, yeah. Bobby, Frankie, Donnie. But that's exactly where I was going with that. But man, they showed their
Yeah, they're very delict on their feet.
Yeah. he was mad, man. I mean, they just looked mad impressive. And then the one critique that I've watched them a few times, right? Like in a way, like it's totally, a note to their style. Like they're so wide open and they're going for it so much. They definitely get sloppy with the ball, and they definitely have a lot of turnovers. And I mean, they can be hit, but man, nobody's been able to do it really yet.
Like I said, this is a team whose football is based on playing positionless midfielders, basically. You have Ziyech and Mr. Tadic up front, who earlier in the season, they were even saying during the commentary that they didn't even get along. They had to move Ziyech to the wing, and what's his name became basically the false nine, Tadic. But they're interchangeable, though. And if you look at Van der Beek and him, Ziyech, Neres, when Frankie de Jong comes with the ball, the concept of total football, you start to understand it. Because like they're told their positions, but they can all switch.
Yeah.
And until you cut off, like the closest I think you might be able to get is to figure out some sort of you have to win the Frankie de Jong battle. Yeah. Your holding midfielder has to beat him. If you allow him to go back into his defense, get the ball, and start like quarterbacking, and then Tadic and them just running off his plays, you're fucking cooked.
Yeah.
And especially as Tottenham, because you don't have the players. Like if it's Liverpool, even Barcelona right now, injury-wise, they're healthy. So they could be like, all right, even if you get past us, Jordi Alba will cover because he's good. Like they don't have that. It's a makeshift defense that is getting exposed because they haven't figured out how to win the midfield.
Shout out to Van de Beek. Wonderful, wonderful goal.
Bake. I found that's very good. Yeah. Van der Beek.
Man, those damn Dutch, man. But
Dude, you should get that jersey.
On that replay, I just always big. I was tripping every time I saw it because dude literally had enough time to fake Lloris like 3 times before he
say-
actually shot it.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake. Pretty much, man. Pretty much. So Ajax get the 1-0 victory, an away goal. How does this play for the second leg? Does that mean? I mean, it's an away goal, so obviously it means a lot.
Everybody's
Tottenham-
still in it, but Tottenham is a huge missed opportunity. But
Should Ajax feel like they missed an opportunity? They could have had another goal in this game.
like you said, though, that's how they play. Like it was like watching Sevilla play in Spain. Some games they'll get out and they'll get you 4, but if Sarabia and Benitez are missing, it's like that. And like Tadic, Ziyech, he was a little wasteful in this game, you know. And Neres is an amazing looking player on the outside, but his finishing needs.
Is he the one that hit the post? Somebody hit the post in
I
this
think it was
game.
Neres.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they'll feel they should have got more, but that's what they came looking for, was an away goal. They would have taken an away goal with a loss.
Yeah.
So they should be happy. Now Tottenham, I want to see how their injuries go, because if they don't have their people back, they're going to be fucked.
I'm wondering here. I want to see. Let me pull this up. Matches. They played Bournemouth on the weekend away,
Yeah, like I mean,
and then end their season with Everton after that. And Ajax, did they suspend the entire league again for Ajax?
I think so. Probably.
No. I think they play this week.
They play this week? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they play this week.
But I liked the explanation the Ajax manager gave for that, because they were like, "Oh, it's an advantage and this and that," and he's like, well, like Tottenham. Tottenham has no money, right? Like I mean, they spend no money, but they have enough money to flex all their money and have half of the Ajax's team as their starting 11. Like that, he's like, we gotta do something to balance it out. You guys have all the money,
Have all the money,
and
yeah.
all the resources. So if my league gives me an advantage, because like, by him advancing,
here.
you get more teams into from the whole league of Holland.
Whole league,
you know?
yeah.
So he's like, fuck y'all.
Yeah, it's perfect. No, absolutely. What's your expectation for the second match? I mean, I guess we'll look at it more on Monday. Let's just wait over the weekend, see who's injured, see who comes back.
Exactly. I want to see what happens on the weekend games, especially for Tottenham, because if they play because of injuries, if they play another team like this and they lose, then Champions League next season starts coming into play, depending on results elsewhere. Chelsea play Watford, etc., you know. So let's on Monday come back and see how they do. But right now, I'll say this: it's looking very, very fucking bleak for Tottenham.
Agreed, especially with the way Ajax have been
And I
playing
don't
at
think
home.
anybody should call this a Spursy or something. Like this is
No.
top level
Ajax
football.
is on
Somebody gotta lose, and just because you're at home, you don't win. Like
Nope.
this is top level competition here.
Speaking of top level competition, that is exactly what Liverpool got handed to them. There are many teams across the world that want to gauge themselves against a Barcelona or Real Madrid or something along those lines. This is Liverpool's opportunity. They are one of the 2 best teams in the Premier League, probably a top 5 team, top 3 team in the world. And they went to Barcelona to get themselves an away goal, and they failed.
Yes, but along the way, a lot of narrative happened. Along the way to the Senate. But they also had injury issues. Apparently, Roberto Firmino had a slight knock, which the doctors cleared him completely for. And he said he really wanted to play. And Jurgen Klopp said it would help our defensive stability to play Mane and
And play Wijnaldum as a 10. It was
basically. And out of the 10, Wijnaldum was offensively especially played as a 0. You know what I'm saying? Like people texting me like, "Where is Wijnaldum?" And I'm like, I don't know. Genie is in a bottle.
I was also surprised by Gomez on right back. I thought for sure he would have put Gomez back
I think
in the
that's
middle.
the bigger fuck up, because I think that Wijnaldum ran a lot and really helped them on the team defense front. But offensively, he was a negative, whereas Joe Gomez really struggled in this game. And the cross for the first goal
He's on his.
It was an early taken cross by Jordi Alba on
Alba,
his side.
Alba was working out in that game.
Dude, Alba was having a blast, dude. And I'm like, Trent Alexander-Arnold just made the Premier League Team of the Season over Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And well-deserved. He leads, like him and Robertson on either side, lead the Premier League in assists for defensive players, you know? And this has never happened since blah, blah, whatever. I'm like, Joe Gomez, if you're going to bring him back, take out Matip.
Take out Matip. Yeah, that's
Take
exactly
out
what I was
Matip,
like, why
which,
is-
respect, he had an okay game. Like, he did
Absolutely,
his
yeah.
thing. And the team defensive structure was well done. But the question is, did it take away from what Liverpool could have achieved? Because I'm of the belief that you do your thing with your best team is your best way to advance. And I would have played Firmino and I would have played Trent Alexander-Arnold both from start. And I think that Firmino would have caused, like, the defense was not, Barca's defense was looking shook for a lot of the game. And if they had Roberto Firmino doing the runs that he did, I think that they would really have had a big opportunity. And Klopp said the medical staff had cleared him. He just decided not to use him. I didn't get it. And when Keita at the game started, he got injured. I think that was a time to reconcile this mistake, and that would have been also a good time to bring him in and move Wijnaldum into midfield, and that would have been kosher.
Yep.
But it seemed, and on both sides Barca, because they won, they looked successful, but on both sides, both teams were, the coaches put in the team of I'm scared. You know what I'm saying? Barca chose to take out Arthur and put on Arturo Vidal, who had a really good game.
Yeah.
They played a 4-4-2, but for large periods of time, Liverpool had control in that midfield area. You know what I'm saying? So they chose the combatant over the passer. So they chose to have control over the game in a more physical manner than previous Barca years.
It was an awesome game to watch. It was a lot of up and
It was.
down. It was a lot of breaks. It was a lot of good defending. It was really fascinating and definitely, I think in my opinion, it was like a 4-2 game. Like there was Usman should have laid it up.
Usman had a hat trick of misses in injury time. He came on in injury time.
Yeah.
But anyways, I also, like, going back to, like, this was not a critique of what Klopp did, because I also think that Coutinho should have been benched for Barcelona and Ousmane Dembele should have come in should have started in this game. Again, going back to the Sissoko question, he was injured, so you don't know.
And you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, Liverpool had the stats. Liverpool had the opportunity. Like you said, Liverpool dominated for a large stretch of this game, if not even more of the game. But Messi,
this is
Suarez,
where
Alba.
Perception and like comes into play. Barca took an early lead in this game, and were much more content with they weren't taking gambles offensively because of that, and this allowed Liverpool a lot of time on the ball that they should have taken advantage of. But like, teams go as you push them, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if you challenge them, they can raise to the next level. And as good as Liverpool was, if they were the Liverpool that I expected they put out, they could have got a goal in this game. They would have shown
would have changed the complexion of the second
complexion
one, for
of
sure.
it, and I would have wanted to see if Barca Valverde could have made the changes and raised it to the next level. As it stands, Liverpool in this game gave them their big punch, and Barca just shrugged it off. Is what I mean by like the whole, like, they got dominated. I'm like, they at the beginning they did, but outside of that, since they had the lead, since that moment. Yeah, like, football has been played, but they're playing it much more conservatively because they're already like, let's not give away this away goal. We've got a lead, you know?
They went up late, though. That second goal came late, didn't it?
Yeah, second goal.
Second goal came late. So,
Yeah.
I mean, a 1-0 is still, you know, debatable. And then for what I saw in that match, Like Barca they had a hard time
What I'm
after
saying, understood.
after about
but what
like
I'm
the
saying
40th
is,
minute or
if
so.
if you're dominating them the way Liverpool was doing while Barca were back, they would be. Every opportunity would be much more vertical and trying to get at you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in this sense, they were not sending as many people. You saw Messi get crowded out of the ball by himself a lot of times because they weren't sending
They
the
weren't
support
sending it.
the way
Yeah,
they
no,
would
you're right.
because they didn't need it. That's what I mean. So like they didn't need it in the sense that if they were chasing the ball at the game in their own field because Liverpool scores early, then Liverpool gets a lot more opportunities at them. With like all this possession dominance that you're talking about, they get more nervous. But once they get a 1-0 from Suarez, like that changed everything. And the second goal was good, but the third goal is the one that really put the tie like very far away. But the first goal early, it gets forgotten because after it, Liverpool had the ball a lot. But that really changed the complexion of the match because they, from that moment forth, they were playing from behind, you know?
For sure, man. They still they should have just had more from this game. I mean, they played
Absolutely.
well. They played well enough for
They
it.
should have. I think that at least an away goal was deserved, at the very least.
Fucking
But
Salah.
like you said, I would say your 4-2 is a fair outcome than going back to Liverpool with a chance to close it out at 2-0. But, and I cannot emphasize this enough, just because a team looks good, this is the Champions League semifinals. It's a show-me finish league. When you miss against Barcelona, you do not get those chances again.
Yep.
There is no next time. And this looking cute and losing, nobody's going to remember this team.
Nope. They don't even.
You know what I was trying to
even
do?
the controversial shit.
I was
don't
trying
even
to
remember.
think of like the 3 teams in a row that Real Madrid beat. And like, I was like, okay, Liverpool. And then like, I was like, Atletico somewhere in there. And I forgot the third person. And I'm like, so at some point, it doesn't matter if your coach comes out and is like, this is the best Champions League game we've played. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't. When people talk about that, was that the Barca 09? Like, I mean, unless you're a Chelsea fan, nobody brings up.
Exactly.
But anyway, Barcelona take a 3-0. Do not concede to the second leg. They do not concede the away goal. They're in great shape. As we saw last year, nothing is safe in the Champions League, as you said. We'll talk obviously more Monday about the forthcoming game. Barcelona have clinched La Liga already, and Liverpool play away to Newcastle. So their title hopes
I
are in
think
the...
that game becomes that much more important because they can't blink in the league. And everybody's going to have to play. The good thing is for them that they get a home leg so they don't have to travel after their game, which they play ahead of City. So
I found it interesting that both coaches involved this weekend are former Liverpool coaches, Rafa and Brendan Rodgers.
Yes. And
It's rigged.
And
Hating on that Arab money.
Rafa has played against Liverpool 5 times since he left them, like at home, and he's only lost 2. Like he ain't giving them shit. He's a pro, you know.
Yeah, I think
so. That's a tough.
It's all up for grabs, and obviously the future will determine if I'm correct. But I think the title is decided this weekend. If City or if anybody blinks this weekend, I don't see either one of them dropping.
I mean, if
points
Liverpool
on the last
blinks,
day.
then I think that City is going to come in like
Liverpool
lions.
loses, it's over, right? If Liverpool over, no, City would have to win.
They'll still have to get their result.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that's why the Liverpool Saturday game is going to determine a lot, you know.
Man, exciting stuff coming to the end here. We are going to turn our attention over to Europa.
Bring back Bobby Firmino if you want to advance.
We're going to look at some English teams that actually scored in their European competition. Arsenal hosting Valencia and Frankfurt hosting Chelsea. Let's talk about that Chelsea match first, where Eden Hazard did not start this game.
Yeah, they're saving him for his next job.
Sorry. Yeah, they
Amid
already got
reports this week out of España that they are waiting until the magical May 12th before they announce that he has already been sold to Real Madrid. May 12th is when the season ends.
Yep.
Except if he gets to the FA Cup final, is what they're saying. They might delay it a little bit. Now,
What?
this is
you mean the Europa? The Europa.
So it's kind of rumor because a lot of times they say Real Madrid don't start announcing their incomings until their season's finished, and their season finishes on the 16th or something.
It's actually already over, but it's been over. But yeah, so
Not fiscally.
not fiscally, true that. So Chelsea, in a team that you feel like they should be favored against, but Frankfurt are no slouches, as we've mentioned them a number of times. They have Luka Jovic, who scored.
Vic?
Jovic, I put 5 on you. Put 5 goals up this year.
Yeah.
Man, 2 goals in the first half, one by Jovic, one by Pedro, 1-1. And that's all she wrote. So Chelsea get an away goal here, dominate the game from a statistical standpoint.
Jovic just scored a beautiful header, it must be said. Like a little diving header thing.
So I find it awfully fascinating that Chelsea and Arsenal are that tight in the top 4, and they're potentially going to play in the Europa final. Like these are 4 crazy important games for these teams. And did you see any of these?
Yeah, I watched large parts of the Chelsea game. And Rudiger is out for the season now. And Christensen looks like a joke.
He's young, isn't he, though?
Nah, he's played in Germany. He's old enough. I'm sure he can buy a beer.
Yeah.
He's good.
I thought they had him highly rated.
They did. I disagree with them.
Okay. What about the rest of their lineup?
He's
What about
been
starting
I
Emerson?
think that they need to play him more if they want to see more out of him. But like I was reading a stat somewhere where they said his last 5 games that he's started, they've lost or tied. Like they've dropped points and like they haven't got a shutout in any of them. And he's very shaky. And I think his defense was like old school Chelsea, head it out, kick it out defense. And they're trying to play some football, and I think that he's a liability.
Gotcha.
I don't think that he's a bad defender. I think that he doesn't fit sorry ball, which is sorry ball, which is stupid.
Sorry. Yeah, so Frankfurt shouldn't feel too bad about this game.
They shouldn't, and also, like, why aren't they playing Eden Hazard 90 minutes in every fucking game?
Yeah, you got 4 games left. Again, like you said, what the fuck are you...
He's not yours next year!
Yeah, what are you saving him for? Maybe they've gotten instruction already.
Are they owned by a Belgian? Like, he's Russian. He doesn't care about Belgium.
I know. I agree. All right, on the other side of the bracket, Arsenal hosting Valencia, and very much thinking that Valencia would turn in a solid performance here, and unfortunately they did not get a result begat of that type of performance.
The front 3 of Ozil, Lacazette, and Aubameyang were
3/4 of the group known as LMAO.
Sure.
Mkhitaryan's out on this one. Go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, Mkhitaryan is not there. I had forgotten about him, but they wreaked havoc up front, and the partnership, especially of Lacazette and Aubameyang, that's spectacular.
It's the best thing about Arsenal this year.
And their defense is a clown car, though.
Very Dortmundish.
Yeah, and they do buy there, so
yeah,
you
exactly.
kind of get what you paid for. But they don't. They're set up to shut you off in the defense, like, and make the middle compact. But none of them are effective, so they don't matter that whatever they set up in, because they suck. They're trying to. I heard that they're trying to give Nacho Monreal an extension, and I'm like, he's 33 now, always injured. I don't get it.
Well, they gave up an away goal here, but they put 3 up on Valencia. Valencia not known for their scoring prowess, but could definitely prowess. I could definitely see them shutting Arsenal out at home. Can they get the 2 goals? That would be the question.
So, there's the battle of the immovable object, force, and whatever. the unstoppable force and the immovable object, except this is the opposite. Is how a Valencia team that if they win, they regularly win 1-0 against a bad defense. So we'll see who fucks up, because I think that's what's gonna determine it. If Dani Parejo and Santi Mina and Guedes perform, then I think that Valencia can.
It'll be fascinating how this weekend's Premier League games influence all the European ties this weekend.
True.
Or this coming week. Which I love that it's just the next week and then it's a wrap.
Yeah, man, we're about done. But Gonzalo Guedes didn't do as much in this game, but up front, him and Rodrigo have been really good in the second half of the season. And they can do it. But we'll have to see. I don't know. Can they stop Arsenal from scoring there?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
And
they can
I
do
think that Arsenal's forward line is a Champions League forward line. It's just that the rest of their team is a relegation team. But
that crucial, man. That gap is that big.
kind of is.
And they kind of suck. I mean, I get it.
So what? The tanks? And Kolasinac? Guendouzi? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Who's good?
Young.
I mean, he's young. He might be good one day, but there's good young kids on relegation teams.
Yeah, Torreira. He didn't even start in this game.
He gets sent off every time it matters.
Yeah. He's young too, but no, I'm with you.
But
pretty bad D.
Yeah, you have the talent guys and the work guys are not good at the work part, you know?
I got one last thing I just wanted to shout out before we get out of here, and that is, since we're not really talking about leagues and shit, and we are talking about 4 Premier League teams that are still involved in Europe, on a weird kind of thing, man, I think United have the inside track to the top 4.
Talk to me.
They have Huddersfield and Cardiff. That's their last 2 games. Everybody else has tough
How many
games.
points back are they?
They are...
Because they don't have access to third, right?
No. Technically they do, but they're 5 points back at third, so they're only 3. They're 3 off Chelsea. Chelsea play Leicester. They play home to Watford.
But Manchester,
and away to Leicester.
I know Chelsea has been shit too, but Manchester's goal difference is also quite shit, isn't it?
Let's see.
Because Chelsea plays Watford this week, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, but I think
so. 21 goal difference for Chelsea and only 13 for Man United. So they do have to get more points than them.
So what I'm saying is, if Chelsea wins one of the 2, then the other game would have to be a complete disaster for Manchester United to sneak in. So I don't really see it as an inside track per se. Yeah, they'll get their wins, but you also need goal difference and shit to go your way.
Chelsea's just but Chelsea's
Who do they have? They have Watford and
then Leicester City away to end the season.
It's doable.
I mean, maybe inside track, but
and
United, I think, is still in it.
Is still ahead of them too, though.
Yeah, by a point. They have they're away to Burnley end of the season if they're done, if that's what it takes.
Just because Burnley gave City a headache last week.
Burnley at home dude, Burnley at home just screams of a game that Arsenal would lose.
But all 3 of these teams that you're talking about in their current run, I can see that happening.
I know.
That's the part that I'm like, where's this inside track you're talking about? It's like,
out of all the teams that are left to play, Arsenal and as bad as Arsenal's been as an away team, their last 2 games are, they got Brighton, but that last game is what I just feel like if they blow that last game, United win both games, you get 2 draws out of Chelsea, which is none of that's even far-fetched.
I get that, but I can see more likely Arsenal and Chelsea both win this weekend, and Manchester United all of a sudden are very much on the outs.
It'd be tough,
even if they win.
Yeah, you know Chelsea. The thing is, Chelsea. If Chelsea win, it's almost done. I just think Chelsea's last 2 games
is going to come into play big time because this is a very, very physical team,
and they got the Frankfurt game in the middle of the week. So what do you do? Who do you play? They're not
That's
that deep.
a little
already
easier
injured.
Because it's a Thursday game. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Champions League, so it affects next week's games, not as much this week's games.
Yeah, should be
and
fun.
Playing at home.
The run in for top 4, and we will talk about the rest of that on Monday. Thank you for tuning in. This is our Champions League episode. And
watch Messi's free kick over and over.
We didn't even talk about it. We didn't even talk about that, like the Alba cross to fucking Suarez
and how he goes to them, all that. But it's okay. We just wanted to say the one thing I didn't like was that both teams, everybody except Ajax of Amsterdam, did not play their football.
Yeah.
All three other semifinalists played a defensive. And I get it, the stakes are high, but I wish that all four had played their own game. Tottenham is the only team with an excuse because they're ravaged, but you can't have that excuse when you decide to not spend any money for 2 windows in a row.
Boop. All right.
You did say to catch up with you, bitch.
There it is. Corciola, Sir Solomon.
Yep.
Dive in it.
What do you think of condoms?
Dive in it. Dive in it. Dive in it.
He's not a man. There's nothing more to say.
Dive in it.
Glory.